So here we're going to show you how to add credit cards and bank accounts on file and also how to run one-time payments. So let's say a patient comes in and you just want to swipe the card one time, you don't want to add it on file, you just want to run a transaction just like you would on a credit card terminal. So all you have to do is click the charge card button. We've got it in two locations, right here as well as right here. So you can just go ahead and click that button. You can enter a transaction amount. Enter or swipe the credit card number. If you have the little $15 USB swiper, which is highly recommended, you can just swipe the card and it's going to populate the card number and expiration date, but I'm going to go ahead and key enter it in here. The CVV is not required, so you don't need that. You can go ahead and put a description. A description would be just what this was for. It will show up on the receipt, so this is optional though for you. So we can just put exam in here. And then we have tags. Tags are used for reporting purposes on the Fortis end. So if you wanted to report on something over and over again, or let's say you have multiple doctors in the office or things like that, you want to tag where the transaction, which doctor it belongs to. You can do those sorts of things with it. We allow you to create as many tags as you want, and you just click the tag and you can use it over and over again. You'll notice on the right-hand side, we have the billing information. So we've got the name, address, zip code, and email address already in here. We're pulling this over from the patient profile. If you are using an integrated partner, we're automatically going to pull that information over. Now, address and zip code are not required, but they are useful, and they're useful to have them right. Really where they're used is chargeback purposes. So if a patient says, I didn't authorize that transaction, having their address and zip code correct, that's tied to the card on file, or that's tied to the card that you're using, is important, but it isn't a required step. So just take note of that. So here we go. We've swiped or key entered in the credit card information. We've got the amount here, and we can go ahead and process this one transaction, and it won't store the account on file. Now, let's say many of you ask, hey, how do I run a transaction and store the card at the same time? So if you wanted to store this card that you're running, you can just click the Save Card button right here. It pops up a box where you can enter in a title or a short description for this card. So let's say we want to make this the primary card. We can go ahead and enter that. We can process the transaction. It's going to give us a nice receipt screen here. It's also going to store the card on file since we checked the stored card box. Now you'll see here it's got our receipt. You can print the receipt. You can also email the receipt. If you click the email button, the email that is on file is going to pop down. You can also change this email. So you can change it right here if you want to change it. And with one click, you can send the emailed receipt right to the patient. Now, if you're using our signature pad, you can have the patient sign right on the signature pad, and we will actually store the signature right in the system here. So if you have the signature pad, you'd see the little box pop up right here on the receipt. You'd click it, and then the signature pad would become active. They sign, and it'll store the signature right in the receipt here. So we'll go back to the patient's main dashboard, since now we'll have that credit card on file. So you can see here we've got that card on file. Now let's say you want to add a card, but you don't want to run a one-time transaction like we just did. The other way that you can add a card on file is just clicking the Add Accounts. Now from here you can select credit card or ACH. So the credit card is exactly what we just did. You just enter in or swipe the credit card. And then click the Save Account button. Again, the description will be used as just a descriptor for that card, so you can very quickly identify the card. If you're adding an ACH on file, we'll go ahead and click ACH. Again, you can add a title, a short description for it. Select the account type, checking or savings. You can select if it's a personal or business card. In this instance, it's usually always going to be personal. Account holder name, and then enter the account routing number and accounting number. As you start to enter the routing number, you'll see it's actually going to pre-populate here for you with the list of bank routing numbers. So you can go ahead and just select that one, and then you would go in here and enter the account number and save that. Once you have that account saved, it's actually going to come all under the stored account box. So you could have multiple accounts, credit card or bank accounts stored on file for a patient. We don't limit the number of accounts you have stored on file, so you can add as many accounts as you want. We often do this because patients want products card. They might want one card that's used for their reoccurring, one that's used for maybe their copays, things like that. So we allow you to add as many accounts on file. We want to make it as easy for you to take payments from a patient as possible. Once you have an account stored, running a transaction is super simple. You just come in here and click the Run Sale button. Again, from here, all you're doing is entering a transaction amount. You can put a description or a tag if you would like. Go ahead and process that transaction. And again, the receipt's going to pop up. You can email, print the receipt right from here, have them sign it.